Good evening, everyone. This is Beyond the News, and we are breaking news with the lovely Janine. Apologies for that. Of course, yes, you can find Janine at tarotbyjanine.com and also here on the Academy. Janine, welcome back. How are you?
Hi, Jean-Claude. Hi, everybody. Doing good.
Safe and sound from your travels, Janine?
Whirlwind of, yeah, absolutely crazy times, but safe and sound home. Yep.
Very good, very good. Guys, as we start the show here tonight, don't forget, as you can see on the Academy page right now, we have two coupon codes. It's the same coupon code, but basically valid for the two different websites. On one end, we have 50% off here using code SPRING50 on all courses and workshops, excluding the membership with Waking Up for Shannon here on the Academy page. So if you were looking at registering for courses, now is the time at 50% off. And of course, on the right side of the screen, also 50% off on the Insider Access Pass on Beyond Mystic. That gives you access to all of the content behind the paywall and also gives you access to live recordings of the Beyond the News, where you guys get to ask questions when Jeannie and I record these shows for you guys. So check that out. I believe those are up until tomorrow or the day after. So make quick while the coupon code is still there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight. We're doing this live interactive show on Rumble, YouTube, and also here on Twitter. I see you guys are logging in also on the Discord pass. I'll be taking maybe questions and comments as I go along this evening. So please do let us know where you guys are watching from this evening. And don't forget, also, we're going to be giving away beautiful courage pyramid tonight. This is from Carla at Ascension Organites. And given everything that's happening in the world, I think we could all use a little bit of courage here moving forward and understanding of our crazy reality. So pay attention to the words, people, places, dates, names during the show here tonight. And perhaps you are going to be the lucky winner of this pyramid at the end of the show. And also, we're going to be giving away a beautiful soap kit from floradinfarm.ca a little bit later in the show as well. Check that out. Coupon code there. Everything is at 10% off at BM at 10. And for Carla, I believe she has also another special going on right now. Yes. The Aries season bundle, Aries pyramids and Shungite pendants. The astrology pendants are all 50% off right now on the site there as well. That's valid until April 5th. So don't miss that. Really cool. Janine, crazy energies all week, weird stuff happening to the planet, weird stuff happening to the Schumann resonance, absolutely weird stuff happening at the White House, from the AI bots to Brigitte Macron to Trump appointing Zuckerberg to a technology committee. Like, it's just everything's getting crazier and crazier. And here's a post from the White House today that kind of sums it up. I kid you not. This is a post from the website. Go check it out on the Twitter page. We don't know what the hell's going on. And so let's start, Janine, maybe with a 40,000 foot pull here to try to get some indication, some understanding of what's going on. Yeah, somebody's in the live chat saying, yeah, and they're also expanding the scope of the eligibility to join the military of the United States, and also removing restrictions in terms of possessions of marijuana and perhaps first infractions. Seemingly because they want more people in the army here starting in April. So what the hell's all that about? We're going to look at that tonight as well. We're going to look at the situation in Iran in a little bit more detail. We're going to look at all the news that came out in the last 2 days about Coinbase now accepting crypto for mortgage payments. We have two other banks also talking about this here, this change coming up. And we have Swift also announcing 25 plus banks we're going to get into the crypto market here very soon. So we're seeing the tectonic plates move here on the financial system. And to top that all off, Trump's signature is also going to be on a new dollar bill here moving forward. I'll get into all of that tonight. So first, Janine, let's look at this 40,000 foot pool here. Where are we? Where are things going?
Wow. Hidden influence is really interesting. It's the judgment card. So judgment card, it took me 20 years to really understand that card, and I'll just sum it up. It's basically a time you can't sleep during when the judgment card is especially in a position like where it is, it's overviewing this whole this whole reading here. So it says it's a wake up time for humanity. It is a time for rapid quantum leaping, and you can't be caught sleeping. Okay, or you're going to miss really important things. This card's basically saying, wake up from your dead state, wake up from your sleepwalking, wake up from your just sort of going through the motions, and pay attention to everything, because everything out there is a signal, and you're being told things, but not directly. Well, we definitely know that everything is coming at us indirectly, and that has something to do with astrology as well. But this card says you absolutely can't be sleeping right now, and every step you take will create the rest of your future. So it's not a time to not do things lightly. Like, everything needs to be thought and weighed and processed through your instinct and intuition. Okay, so we've got temperance in the past. So the temperance card's really interesting because it's kind of easy. It's more easygoing, right? There's a sense of things are easygoing. So I don't know when that would have been, because I can't remember easygoing times since pre 2018, I'd say, for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't noticing all the crazy quite yet. Anyway, so that's kind of weird that card came up. But it could also talk about there's been a lot of healing done, and a lot of people have healed through this process. So even though it's been a crazy ride, a lot of people have learned to love themselves more, got more in touch with their instincts, really understood themselves spiritually. They're not just taking things on face value, gotten to know other people of like mind, maybe even through this community. Like, that could be, maybe that's what I'm talking about there. Now we've got the 10 of Pentacles, which is in the now. So that's attention, everybody. So it feels like things that are going on right now are going to involve everybody. The world stage is who has to pay attention, not just the truthers. So I feel like it's a time coming right now when everybody goes on page, or at least they're going to assume this is going to be a need to know. Whatever's happening, it's going to be a need to know for everybody, not just, it'll affect everybody. And it looks like it is financial in particular right now. So finances are involved. Even the normies pay attention when it comes to their money. Have you noticed, right? That's a place where everybody gets looking at something, because their livelihoods at stake, and their comfort levels and stuff like that. Okay, so everybody's noticing what's going on, or everybody's going to be in on this next, whatever the theater is going to present. Here we've got the Queen of Wands. She's incredibly sovereign, and a truth, like, she's basically somebody that would be in our community. She's a truth-loving, intuitive woo woman who loves her independence and always refers back to her own instinct and intuition. That's her familiar, which is her black cat, which means she always checks in with herself and her inner knowing about things. And that's really interesting, because it's saying that everybody's going to be in a place where that's going to become really important. So I feel like we've got a big decision to make, and it probably has to do with the financial system. Things are going to be presented, and we need to really think about it, and how we step is going to be really important. And we've seen this before, but it's not been as intense as this reading is talking about. So I think we're right in that time when making the right decision about what to say yes to and what to avoid is going to be crucial.
Well, I mentioned a few news stories just at the offset of the show with respect to the financial changes. We'll get into that in just a moment to back you up there, but I think you're pulling on that. Like, we're about to see a big reversal, or at least a new direction being brought out into the open for mainstream, generally speaking, here in terms of finance. What are the two bottom cards, Janine?
Yeah, they're interesting. So this card is people have agreed in the background on something, and it's around the finances. So even though it'll look like maybe big banks are still fighting with maybe the White Hat Alliance. I
Mhm.
feel like what we're going to see is actually a united front, and all of us have to really be aware of our moves in this. We're going to be part of the next big play.
Okay. And we have to look under the hood.
Yeah, we got to look under the hood, and
Yeah.
we're being asked to. But I feel like it's sovereign money system's going to win out, and I think we're going in that direction with this card here. And this, take your time, okay? So don't be rushed, because this feels like advice here. Don't be rushed. Take your time. Really look at something. So, like
Right.
you said, look under the hood, and then this could be eventually, because this is the big outcome. That's a more abundance for all and not less. But I feel like we got some steps to take to get here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. That seems to set the stage here. We'll get into some of these news articles one by one. Janine, if you want to shovel, I want to go back to this picture. Now, the obvious thing here is it looks like a picture of Donald J. Trump there sitting at the desk in the White House, but it's pixelated. And so that's the calm there. Something about this pixelation or this digitization of the White House or the administration seems to be the calm. You know, in the old days, you would, take a camera, you would actually have a film and light would hit the film. And it was a very tactile analog process to put a picture. This seems to be indicating perhaps in the calm that we're just now at the beginning moving into this digital world, specifically as it pertains to money and maybe also digital ID and digital tracking of humanity here. This is the big trifecta that many YouTubers and researchers are talking about might be just around the corner. At least we're seeing the infrastructure being put in place now in the last couple of years, and it seems that they might be ready to flip the switch here, so to speak. Is that what they're coming with this picture, Janine? You want to start there? You want to add a commentary first? Go ahead. You seem to be thinking about something.
Well, I wasn't sure what that was. Actually, weirdly, I thought that was a child.
Oh, really? No, I
get
see.
what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I see what you're seeing. Yeah, now I do.
And a lot of people are saying, yeah, if you squint really hard, it kind of looks like Trump sitting at his desk there.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
But even if it's not, the point is, it's a digital pixelization of everything.
Mhm.
If you look at the black rocks of the world, that's telling you everything's going to be tokenized. That's the feeling here I get when I see this picture. The digitization of humanity here moving forward, or moving into this brand new world here.
Well, we definitely need to pay attention because that's being presented. So there's that judgment card again. So judgment is wake up and don't sleep through. Your steps will count and your whole life will change depending on where you step.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those moments in time in human history.
Yeah.
And then here we've got the Queen of Cups here. Don't do things out of fear, I'd say, with that one too.
Yeah.
And or feel in any way bullied or even choose things for emotional reasons. I think we need to be really detached and look at things and feed them through our instinct.
Mm-hmm. Somebody saying in the chat, hey, combine that with Melania's robot, the AI summit they had this week with Brigitte Macron. Yeah, they're talking about this digital world here taking place, or this, again, digitization of humanity here. A good comment, Tipsy's guy. Thank you.
Okay, so there's going to be a creative choice, or we need to get creative with the way we go forward. We need to get creative with the way we go forward. And I keep getting the feeling of not to do anything out of fear. This card is immobilized through fear. The person can't move and they lose themselves because they can't make a decision because it's all too scary.
Well, we're going to get into these, what's it called? Not climate lockdowns, but energy lockdowns they're talking about right now. I'm going to play a couple of videos. That might be the scary part here that's going to push us into something here. Because you remember, COVID was supposed to bring us into the digital ID system, force us into COVID passports, digital ID, and then digital money. It didn't work. And then they said, oh, the next one was going to be the climate lockdowns to push us into this new digital world. That didn't work. Bill Gates kind of shot that out the window saying, nah, it's not a big problem anymore. It's no biggie. We can deal with it. So maybe this energy lockdown thing here is the next thing that might be creating this fear to where we might accept the new system here without really looking under the hood. Does that tie in, Janine?
I said, well, what are they trying to tell us with that digital? Really examine it, take your time, and go with something, because the sun is wholesome and present. I'm just thinking of all the words around the sun. Innocent, childlike, wholesome, abundant. It's definitely not a digital ID type card.
Okay.
It's more choosing something more wholesome. Let's say wholesome. Okay, and here we've got the Hanged Man. So wait and watch. I feel like all of that's maybe going flashing. Something's coming. It's digital, and I don't know if it's the right way. I don't think it is the right way to go. So wait and become enlightened, and really do your research on something being offered, because it'll involve your future abundance or lack thereof.
Right.
Or future freedom. This person is free. They are naked on a horse.
Yeah.
With an innocence of a child. There's a lot of freedom in that card.
Somebody in the chat says, I think it's Max Headroom. That's hilarious. But another good comment though, Sunny Sunshine Greece says our passports are already digital. Yeah, but that's not what I mean by that. The digital ID system is to where, kind of like COVID, you have to show your QR code to be able to enter the restaurant or to go to the gym, and that dictates whether or not you can take public transport if you've been a good citizen and if you're not talking against the government online. That's way, way, way more digital than the versions we're having now. People say the same thing. Oh, JC, we already have digital money. What are you talking about? No. We don't have programmable money yet. The money that disappears at the end of the month if you don't spend it, or that is locked out of your account if you're more than 5 kilometers away from your house in the lockdown. That's what I'm talking about, this digital ecosystem. Which again is the railways for all of that is already in place. So we have to see where all of this goes. Okay, let's move to deck, Janine. We have a lot of things here. It's still convoluted to me here, this whole thing. I'm still getting we can't make any decisions out of fear, and we really need to look underneath the hood. So I'm still getting that from both reads here, which I think is good advice here moving forward.
Yeah.
So let's tie in this piece here. Breaking news, President Donald Trump's signature is set to be added to the US dollar banknotes as part of a redesign commemorating the 250th anniversary of the American independence. That's interesting. So that's an addition, a change. It doesn't say to one banknote. I thought originally it was on the dollar bill, but it's dollar banknotes, plural, suggesting here that we're moving into a new territory. This signature, is it adding something to the digital landscape? Is this new dollar going to be attached to something else? Is it going to be issued by the Treasury instead of Federal Reserve? What's the com here? Let's just do a generic poll, Janine. Where are we going with this? Why is Trump adding his signature here to US dollar banknotes? Under this change, his signature would replace that of the US treasurer, whose signature has appeared. So, that's interesting. The commander-in-chief, as opposed to the US treasurer, whose signature was appearing on the last batch. Interesting. So they're not necessarily replacing the Fed here, but what's the com? Or at least not in that particular news article.
Well, this is interesting. So it is replaced by him or his signature, and there's something already happened that we don't know about that creates this to be important. Okay, so I wonder if he's replaced or there's been a replacement of one money system to another or something.
Yeah.
Remember when I used to get it a long time ago that this was Trump's baby, like a big pride and joy of his was going to be to bring out this money system.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it definitely looks like it's something he's super proud of with that card there. Okay. It's all been agreed upon. So I really get banks or all, like everybody that's going to be in on it's already in on it now. There's no fight there. I don't feel like they're fighting with the banks anymore. They've got the banks where they want them. Something's happened in the background and they got the banks where they want them. But people will, like, there's going to be a lot of debate with what's going to be presented. So, of course, people that hate Trump, they're going to hate his signature on notes, dollar notes.
Yeah.
It's definitely a new system and it has more integrity. Interesting. Yeah, he replaced or something's been replaced in the background. Maybe the Fed.
Well, yeah, let's get into that. Deutsche Bank put out a piece, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, what Iran means to the dollar, a perfect form for the petrodollar. Again, the setup here might be a tie-in to all of this. We're going to bring other news articles into this a little bit later on. But don't move the cards, Janine. Actually, do maybe give me some qualifiers here on this article. How does that tie into that spread there about his signature and maybe the death of the petrodollar? Are those two things connected? Do you want to do supplementals?
Yep, let's see what we get. That's really weird. This is a brand new deck.
Okay.
And I have 2 temperance cards.
Okay.
One time I had a deck with 2 empresses. I think I told you guys this. And my friend went to use it for the first time, and 2 empress cards became obvious in the deck. And she was pregnant and didn't know it. So it was like a signal from the universe. 2 temperance cards. That's really weird. Okay, so the temperance, I'm going to just think about that. I'm going to use it. I was going to not use it, but it's like, no, I'm going to use it.
No, there's something there, yeah.
Something wants to talk. So temperance is about things sorting themselves out spiritually, and that universal timing is in effect, and that something's out of your hands. It's not in your hands. And then this card is that good military card. And then we've got an ace. Are they building the good military? Are they adding to the good military? The addition of the good military. Okay, what was your question again? Sorry.
If the article of Deutsche Bank saying that we're witnessing this perfect storm for the death of the petrodollar related to Trump having his new signatures on all these banknotes here commemorating the 250 years anniversary.
Definitely yes, with those 2 cards there.
Wow.
But there's some interesting other information too.
Yeah. Huh. All right. Now, on one hand, we're seeing what appears to be new digital new banknotes with Trump's signature on it, but we're also getting big news in the last 24, 48 hours on the cryptocurrency side of things. If you want to reshuffle, Janine, I'll bring up a couple of articles here. So the first one is this one. Coinbase just announced that it will launch crypto-backed mortgages for over 100 million Americans. Buy and own a house without selling your crypto.
That's totally wild.
This is totally wild. This is mainstream as mainstream gets. I'm curious also because a lot of people had a lot of questions about selling their crypto for US dollars to then buy a house, meaning, well, would they have to pay exorbitant capital gains tax on the profit they made? Let's say they bought the Bitcoin at 10,000 or 2,000 or 888 when Cliff High was saying to buy it, and now they're selling it at whatever it is today. Would they pay capital gains tax on the crypto? But here, if you're moving this cryptocurrency to the housing market, I don't know. At that point, you would think there's still capital gains tax. But again, if they're trying to rebuild the financial system, they're going to put a lot of incentives. Just like in some states right now, you can pay your income tax, your state taxes with Bitcoin and or gold in some cases without having to pay the capital gains tax. They're trying to encourage you to bring that into the system, into play.
Of course they are, because they're going to make all kinds of money that way because they're going to get the gain.
Well, that, and also they're trying to have an escape valve for the death of the petrodollar as well, and to this new Genius Act and the infrastructure that is being put behind it. So these are all questions. Sorry, I'm confabulating here with the capital gains tax. Again, don't take my word on it. These are just open questions as to what's going to happen. It's similar to what John Williams, the economist, was saying to me a couple of years ago when he said the government would come up with all of these schemes to get your silver from you because it's unobtainable at that point. So the idea of maybe removing capital gains tax on silver is not so far-fetched now, given the context of what we're seeing some of these legislative bodies in the States bring forward here in the last 6 months or a year. So, okay, so this is Coinbase now announcing that it's launching this crypto-backed mortgages. And just so you know, it's not fake news. Go back to Reuters, right? There you go. Crypto for a home, Coinbase. So real news here. Now, the other article, it wasn't just Coinbase. I believe it was 2 different banks. Let me go and find this one. This one here. So 12 trillion. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac just announced to accept Bitcoin and crypto for mortgages as well. So this is huge. It's huge. It's as mainstream gets. And this is Cointelegraph reporting from the White House, clearing a review of a proposal of 401k rule by the U.S. Department of Labor that could allow crypto in investments. Again, what Janine and I have been telling you for years, all of these roadmaps towards this digital money is being put in place, and now it seems that we're in the phase of flipping the switches on. Everything is done in the background, everything's tested. They've been doing that for years, and now it appears we're going live. So why don't we pull on that, Janine? Here, on one hand, we have Trump with the new banknotes, his signature on it, something having to do with the death of the petrodollar, perhaps the Fed. But here we're also seeing the birth of the digital framework here, where mainstream can use crypto to buy their house or to invest in their 401k. So what's this battle here? Are we seeing a battle royale between those two systems being played out here? Or does one go with the other? We still don't know where this Genius Act is going and whether or not it's going towards the enslavement of the population or really a counterpart to the old banking system. What's going on here? I realize that was convoluted in my question, but I'm confused by all of this and the timing of all of this too. I just want to understand what really is being played out for us right now. Wow, Tower Card and Mill.
There's still going to be some input we're going to need. So we still have a say in how it goes. Okay, and a long time ago, we were told that we were going to be given 3 options, and 2 we should say no to, and there's a third one that was worth looking at. So I don't know how many we've turned down right now, but at least 1, I think.
Yeah.
But okay, so we've got the King of Swords here on one hand. So that's the thing you were describing as what's sort of coming in with Trump signing those notes. And so the thing that's coming in is getting a good rap. So the thing coming in has honesty to it. Okay, so that's interesting. That's good to see. I'm glad this card wasn't first. Okay, now this is the Fed, because you were also asking, is it replacing it? Okay, so what's going on? The new thing coming in, that's the Fed. They're definitely like, the Fed's like dead. That's a death. And then the Tower. I think it'll shock the normies to know how corrupt it was, and what it really was. Okay, because this guy's really badly aspected. So worst case scenario, we're getting rid of something that stunk the high heaven here. Okay. Now, some normies are still gonna, it's like they want to fight for the old way back because they don't understand the new way, right? They won't like can you imagine my dad trying to figure out crypto? Like, I can barely manage it myself, but I need my nephews to help me. But I'm not afraid of it, though. I know they'll make it accessible. They're working on it. It's been getting more and more accessible. But anyway, but a lot of people are going to fight this. Okay, normies, like, that don't know any better. But we need to be patient and not just jump at whatever they're doing here. Really think it over and really try to look under the hood, like you said, and understand what's best for us and our personal wealth, and in holding wealth in our own power. not giving away our power to the government. Like, what's our best option here? We're going to be given a really good option, and we have to figure out which one it is and say yes to it.
Well, the thing that's interesting to me, let me go back to, can I get the all-time high? No, let's go back to trading view. Hold on. Market cap, this one here. What you're saying about the normies fighting, I think that's interesting because I have a few of my normie friends who are telling me, you see, Bitcoin's a fraud. It's half of what it was. Like, I think the all-time high was 125,000. We're sitting at 68. Let me just show you that right now. So they're even more afraid than before getting into crypto because in their view, it's been cut by half since the all-time high. The same can be said for silver. Silver hit 124-ish per ounce in January, and we're sitting at 69 bucks, maybe 70 bucks here today. I can look at that in just a moment. So they're very reluctant to get into outside of the playpen here into these more sovereign assets. Where does that tie in? Like, what's the catalyst for them to understand this and get into it? It looks right now like a lot of fear factor. I'm going to bring up an article for gold. Also, people are suggesting that, maybe the fad was over and the bull market in gold is over because of this Iran thing and the pressure we're seeing on both gold and silver right now. But when you speak to analysts like Andy Schectman, he's saying, oh, no. The Bank of International Settlements already admitted this is a structural problem. It's not supply and demand. This had to do with all the mechanics and the margins being raised and everybody getting out of their short positions. And he's saying we're just at the end now of sending notice for delivery at the end of the month, and we're pretty much there at the end of this washout, and we're going to start to see the direction going upwards again. All of this at the same time as people are worried because they see prices of assets half of what they were maybe 2 months ago. How does that tie in, Janine, to people accepting here that we're moving into a new system? Is that the fear you were talking around earlier on that first card pull?
I'll need to reshuffle with those big ones out of the way there.
Okay.
So
I know it's complicated.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put this in my head myself.
Okay.
Yeah, let's start there. In your first poll, you had this fear, and people shouldn't be acting out of fear.
Yeah.
It appears right now that there's a lot of fear in cryptocurrencies, given the price of Bitcoin, and also in gold and silver right now. Is that preventing people maybe, or making people make bad decisions here as this new system is being put into place? I think India also, I think as of April 1st, they're no longer using the LBMA benchmark for spot gold and silver price fix, the twice daily price fix. They're moving away from that, saying they can't trust it. April here is going to be a brand new world. And by the way, Janine and I are going to be recording in the next couple of days the WooFi forecast for April. So check that out on the BeyondMystic.net page. It's going to be a doozy here. The slide deck is huge already. So,
okay, how did you say it again?
Is the fear right now of cryptocurrency, gold and silver, what we're seeing now, forcing people to not look at gold and silver and crypto, but to accept whatever the government wants to introduce here as the new financial system? Because you mentioned in the first thing, don't make a decision out of fear. Right now, there's a lot of fear when people are looking at their gold, silver, and crypto portfolio.
I feel like it's going to go the way of an independent. Something's going to be a clear winner that everybody can get on board with, even the regular, like even real normies don't like taxes, okay, or the amount of taxes they're meant to pay, or like every normie I know, their one thing they all come together on is how we're getting hosed, right? We're getting torched on that front, like how many ways we pay taxes on everything, before, after, when we make money on it.
Oh, we're taxed on taxes, on the taxes, on the taxes.
It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but let me rephrase just to make sure we're on the same page. I think I got it here. So my question was, in your first poll, you said we couldn't make any decisions out of fear. And typically, if Bitcoin was at 400K today, and let's say gold was at 7,000 and silver was at $600, that magic number, people in this community who are outside of the system wouldn't be afraid of this whatever new financial system, because they could step back and look at it for a while before they decide if they want to accept it or not, right? And especially the normies, they would say, "Ooh, oh man, that gold's doing well and silver's doing well. Maybe I should get a little bit of that here and hedge my bet because I don't trust this new system." My point is, if Bitcoin is crashing right now, gold and silver is crashing, which we've seen in the last 2 months, is that putting the fear into people to accept blindly whatever is going to be offered next? Is that connected to your first poll where you said people shouldn't be making decisions out of fear? That's where I'm going with that question.
I don't think so, because
Okay.
the outcome of this doesn't look like that. There might be a moment of that, but then something really clearly presents itself. It's like something's going to be presented that feels like it solves it in a really good way. And people are already, a big part of their fear is the government. And that's including normies right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nobody's trusting those guys. Like Cliff said, this was coming. No,
Yeah.
people are not trusting. Look what happened with the meningitis BS. That lasted, what, 10 days?
Yeah.
Nobody paid attention to it. Everyone's called, cried wolf on it. Like,
What was the other one? The White Plague also
give me a
2
break.
days ago?
Like,
Yeah.
you guys, you're falling flat on your face there. Yeah, so it's just nothing's working like it used to. On this is what people think about the system. The real fear looks like it's answered. The fear is against the government and the system. They don't trust them.
Yeah.
They want something where they can manage their own money and or hold their own profits and not have the government overreach. So we're going away from that. So everything they did to us in the last 6 years, even normies don't want them reaching in their pockets anymore. They got no more money. They can't tolerate it. That's where they draw the line. Never mind, pedos, never mind baby eaters, never mind. No, you're taking money out of my wallet. Like, it's kind of sad, but that's their big come together, it looks like.
Okay. Again, your first poll, I said this is not the time to close your eyes and to go to sleep. Like, you had the judgment card there. We need to be awake and we need to watch every single second here of what's happening. Still the judgment card there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that as read, and I think we're there with the understanding, and I get that this is complicated, guys. We're decoding this live with you as well. We're just trying to make heads or tails. Heads or tails, I don't know this stuff. Is that right? Heads or tails? I'm not sure how you say that in English.
Something like that.
You get my point.
Yep.
Okay. Don't ask the French guy. I don't know. I'm just French. Okay. Just in, First Lady Melania Trump just walked out with an American-built humanoid robot. Man, the way that thing walks, it looks a lot like Joe Biden used to walk, by the way, if you look at that video. Yeah. I thought that was crazy. Trump also just appointed Mark Zuckerberg, the same guy who censored us, of course, for asking questions about COVID in the election. He's just been appointed now to the Science and Technology Advisory Board. Jenny and I looked at this on the pay-per-view episode yesterday. Very complicated subject as well. Lots of weird things happening there. And at the end of the day, how do we break this down? Well, it came back to the same thing. We have to watch what's happening right now. We have to keep their feet to the fire. It appears that these moves are being made for the betterment of humanity, and some of these people are doing walks of shame right now. But we can't afford to just take it at face value and not ask questions. I think that was the underlying message again yesterday in the pay-per-view. So a lot of weird stuff there. But you posted something earlier today, Janine. See if I can find it. It had something to do with perhaps what's happening in Iran right now and why all of this ties into accelerating. Oh, here it is. Let me see if I can bring up this post. I want to get into that. So let me read this one here. Well, actually, yeah, we'll do this one first, and then we're going to get into these energy lockdowns. These two things are tying into each other. And so in this particular post, Operation Epic Fury is Operation Warp Speed 2.0, Dr. Russell McGregor says. And remember, Warp Speed was the acceleration of the availability of vaccines, forcing the hands of these companies to shorten the time that they had to bring this to market, and conversely shorten the time that humanity was going to be on lockdown. They wanted to create so much pain and so much stress for humanity being on lockdown for 3, 4, 5 years that we would accept anything, any vaccine, without even asking what was in the vaccine to get us under lockdowns. And so Operation Warp Speed, if you understand what Trump was doing, was reducing that, forcing that. Even though people were getting killed and maimed, we were reducing overall the number of deaths in this particular scenario that was being played out. So here we're saying that Operation Epic Fury is kind of the same thing as it pertains to the green policy or global warming and getting into all of these electric cars and all of these policies that just don't make sense to humanity. And that Trump, through some of this pressure that is being exerted now with Iran and what appears to be happening now in the Strait of Hormuz and with the price of petroleum, is accelerating once again the realization of the normies here that all of these things are actual scams, so that we can get to the other side of it sooner rather than later. This is the thesis that is being put forward here in this particular tweet. I'm just going to link that down, guys, if you want to go read in more details. I'm paraphrasing, of course, and it's a long article. So there you go. It's in the live chat now if you want to go read it. But is that what's happening, Janine? I want you to poll on this. If there's some type of parallel happening between Operation Warp Speed and Epic Fury, in the same sense here of accelerating the events to force the cabal's hand and eventually their demise here. Because if so, it kind of ties into what you were saying earlier in the week in the pay-per-view, that everything that is pissing off the base right now of having a war, when Trump said he would have no war and he would be the peace president, he's looking really bad right now, but eventually he would look good in the same way that he did with Warp Speed, where people were very pissed that he was saying to people to take the vaccine, and how dare he say that, he was killing and maiming Americans. But ultimately we came out of that war a lot faster had he not put forward the Operation Warp Speed. So is this the same parallel here, Janine? Do you understand what I'm saying? That makes sense? Okay.
Yep. I'm going to say yes. So we've got a yes in the past, and that's a soft yes, like yes, but complex.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's actually really hard for them to do this, just like it was hard to do Warp Speed. Like they did this, but they knew lots of people would be mad about it. Okay, so they took the long, hard, or not the long, but the hard route. And they've been using this Trump brand and then doing this a lot, right? Because guess who gets all the hits? Trump. Everyone thinks he's the big jerk, he's the big asshole, he's the big guy doing all these things, right? So they did it again, and but they took the chance and did it that way because exactly, I think, for exactly what you said. Because the outcome is truth and integrity. It'll lead us somewhere and to more truth and integrity. The truth and integrity about all of the hidden agendas behind all of that. There's so many people totally indoctrined with the whole climate argument, right? Like I have like a sister-in-law who works, like it was trying to save forests and everything. And those people, they're good people that want to save the environment, but they're completely brainwashed with the climate change thing.
Yeah.
To the point of completely, you can't talk to them, right? You can't even get a one point across, like the carbon thing. Like, come on, you guys. Like, I failed science in school, and I can still understand that, trees need carbon, and you're going to kill the trees if you go zero carbon. Like it makes no sense. It's absurd. Okay, so we've got the high priestess, and this is a victory that they're doing this. He'll come out victorious, or the movement will. It's not necessarily Trump, it's his brand, and the movement will come out victorious. But this is the hard way of doing it, and he's gonna take the hit again.
So there's a connection, and we have a little bit more pain before we get the result. Similar to the couple of years in COVID, the lockdowns, the two-tier society, you and I not being invited to family parties, all of that stuff was necessary to squish this down in that particular aspect of the war with the least amount of death as possible. So you're seeing a connection here with Operation Epic Fury.
Yeah.
Okay. That brings us in now to the segment on energy lockdowns. Okay, so if you want to reshuffle, I'm going to play this clip. See if we can get to this one here. Why is it not coming up? It should. This one here. I think we're good with the audio on this one. Let me try this one here. So this is Shadow of Ezra reporting. Shannon Joy reports that the International Atomic Energy Agency has published Lockdowns 2.0 in response to a looming energy crisis, right? So we went from the COVID lockdowns to supposedly the climate lockdowns, which was a stillborn baby. And now the new version of these lockdowns are being played out. At least the psyop of this particular lockdown is being played out. So let's play this one first, and then we'll get some clarity from the cards.
He said, the shit is hitting the fan. Everything's falling apart. And he just published Lockdowns 2.0, an energy lockdown playbook. They released a 10-point plan over the weekend telling governments to restrict driving, ground flights, force remote work, and ban gas cooking. They called it sheltering from oil shocks, writes Aaron Day. Here's the plan. Number one, they're recommending alternating driving days based on your license plate number, odd plates on Monday, even plates on Tuesday, and countries are now already implementing this. They're recommending mandatory speed limit reductions on every highway, not for safety.
Oh no, Chrystia Freeland won't be able to speed anymore. Sorry.
But fuel rationing by another name. You can still drive, just slower and less often. Number three, avoiding all air travel where alternatives exist. They didn't define what that actually meant, but the ambiguity, writes Aaron Day, is the feature. It lets regulators decide after the fact whether your trip was essential or not. Non-essential versus essential.
Remember the essential businesses during COVID versus the non-essential businesses, Janine? It sounds very familiar.
Does that ring any bells? Here's another one. Switch from gas cooking to electric. The IEA is now telling you what appliances you can use in your kitchen. And the same agency that published net zero by 2050 is calling now for thermostats to be capped at 19 degrees and a ban on new gas boilers. This is not new, it's accelerating. And then work from home if possible. The guidelines mimic 2020 when they locked down the world and called it public health. In 2026, they're locking down movement and calling it energy security. The template is identical, writes Aaron.
Okay. Well, that's the narrative of what is being presented to us right now. Let's do a poll on this, Janine. Does it have leg? Is it part of this epic fury to where in order to accelerate all this green energy bills and scams that we have to go through an energy lockdown for people to realize? Is that at least part of the pain we have to feel here, Janine? Let's see.
Soft yes. So you're going to definitely hear about it.
Yeah.
But this is a smaller card. Okay. Like it's not like a king or a queen or a knight even.
It's not a hell yes, but it's still there in the cards kind of thing. Yeah.
And it was created. This was a follow-up thing to the COVID lockdowns.
Yeah.
And like in the past, this was one of the things. So they had them all lined up to hit us with all of these things. Remember, there was supposed to be massive food shortages too. That never happened quite yet either. Now we've got the temperance card in the middle. Temperance. So universal timing is in effect, and the universe plays a role here. So kind of the universe has been messing with their plan. I wonder what I mean by that. I wonder if the universe is whispering in the ears of, I wonder if common sense might even be like people's soul essence is waking up to. I think we're getting screwed here. I think maybe, you know what I mean? Meningitis, like people woke up.
Oh, sorry, Jane, there's quite a bit of delay. I didn't mean to speak over you. In your previous poll, you mentioned that people weren't going to be trusting the government.
Oh.
I think a lot of people trusted the government, maybe when they shouldn't have, taking products under their skin in the last PSYOP. they might not be so quick to trust them this time, but we still have a small yes, meaning that maybe some pockets around the world we're going to see this actually implemented. Is that where you're going?
Yeah. And some places will do it for a short time too.
Mm.
So this doesn't really go anywhere, and then new things come on the horizon and take us in new directions. Like I feel like a lot of things are
Flipping
also
the
going
direction.
to take the attention away from this, so it doesn't really have legs. But
Okay.
there's going to be a few places that will suffer some of this BS. I mean, if you say yes to it, I would personally not care. I would be like driving that damn Jeep of mine whenever I wanted to, and
Yep.
collecting the tickets,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
going to court and telling them to go, you know what.
How many people who had tickets? I wonder. I'd like to see a study on that in Canada. They give out a lot of tickets for people who are walking outside after curfew at night
Yeah.
alone. Did they actually have to pay those tickets when they contested them? I'd love to see a survey on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the cards, but not as big as perhaps it was intended. Okay, and again, what you just said, if you say yes to it and acquiesce to it, there's going to be more. That's the whole point there. So, okay,
This is probably part of that wake up and smell the coffee. Like,
yeah,
just say no. These guys are
yeah,
testing you. You're
yeah,
being tested.
absolutely makes sense. Okay, I need to play another video. If you want to shuffle the cards, Janine. This one here, I spoke about it at the beginning of the show. This is Hustle Bitch on Twitter. It just got crazy. The U.S. Army opened the floodgates and won't say why. Starting April 20th, 2026, enlistment age raised from 34 years old to 42. Man, it's getting pretty old out there. Maybe they want to kill a few useless eaters in an upcoming conflict. Marijuana possessions no longer disqualify you from military service. Millions of new people just became eligible. Let's play this clip from this young woman. Hopefully this works here. Bring the volume up. Okay, here we go.
U.S. Army will now raise their enlistment age from 34 years old to now 42 years old, along with removing the waiver if you've ever had a possession of marijuana charge. This is all going to be effective on April 20th, 2026.
Oh, she just repeated what I said. Wrong clip. But anyways, you get the point here with the nice piano music in the background, just to make it a little bit easier to listen to. Thank you, whoever that was. Janine, does this tie into perhaps an escalation of what's happening in Iran, and they're looking for some able bodies here because we're nowhere out of the woods? And even though we might be accelerating the plans with Trump, we still have to put more boots on the ground and perhaps more pain here before we get out of it. What do you see? Or is this just another psyop?
Right. So you were asking me,
Yeah.
is it that or psyop? Okay.
Yeah. Do they actually want to put more boots on the ground and they're opening up the floodgates here? And again, as Catherine Austin Fitz would say during COVID, they put measures in place to remove the useless eaters because, Social Security and pension funds are running dry. They've been robbed blind by these Mr. Global, as she calls them. Are they also trying to remove some humans here, as they normally do during wartime, getting rid of useless eaters as cannon fodder, as they usually name these things? What do you see? Or just a psyop?
It feels a little psyop-y. There's not the obvious psyop cards, but I feel like it's out there, but they're not taking it that seriously.
Okay.
Like I feel like it doesn't end up going anywhere. See that Two of Swords?
Yeah.
Like either they step away from it before the date, which is coming right up, or it just doesn't. It's out there as this story and then doesn't actually materialize. Like it feels like more of a story and less of a truth. Everything's going in opposite directions. I'm just not buying that story.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Maybe they put a stop to it. Maybe some judge out there, I don't know what, somebody some common sense kicks in and goes, no, we're not doing that.
Well, I asked you specifically with the theater of war in Iran or the Middle East. You're getting a not really. Let me rephrase that and see if now you see it in the cards. As Trump was asking the 50 states to have these rapid response teams ready for April, is this new policy to bring more people, not boots on the ground in other country, but in the United States to fight off whatever these social unrests might be. Do you get more of a yes picture to that? Do you understand where I'm going?
No, maybe
Okay.
I'll say it again.
So on one hand, my first question was, are they doing this to have more bodies to go boots on the ground to the theater of war in Iran? So you're like, man, I don't see a big yes there. Okay. Are they trying to put more boots on the ground here in the United States to fight civil unrest? As we know, Trump and Hegseth want all these rapid response teams in all of the states.
Okay, I'm going to say yes. Empress is a really big yes card, and she was first. And then this is a more just in case, or they're not making that publicly known, but yes.
Shit. So we're still expecting big civil unrest here. They want to increase those numbers. They want more people into the military.
Interesting. That showing us something about how cards work, because you put all of those caveats on it about the Middle East. The cards were like, no.
Yeah.
But yes about that.
Yeah.
So it will be a there, but it's more home. It's more it's more for what's going on in the US itself.
So I need you to reshuffle then, because you have a lot of major arcanas there. Mm-hmm. Is that because of the financial system? Is that about lockdowns temporarily, as they may be? Or is that about aliens? Or all of the above? Why do we need so many military people in the streets here in the States?
Yeah, because on my quick pick there, I looked at those sirens that have been going off.
Yeah, those tests.
It looked like something kind of. They were expecting something. It didn't look like it was a sure bet, but it looked like something they know about is a potential threat.
Yeah.
And they're testing the systems.
Guys, if you haven't seen it, Beyond Ravens, earlier today at 2 p.m. And also, just so you know, those of you who are asking for the Beyond the News viewer question from today, Janine was traveling earlier today, so we are doing it instead. I believe Coco has us down for 11 a.m. on Saturday. So those of you looking for the viewer question of Beyond the News, Janine and I are going to be recording that Saturday at 11. That's on beyondmystic.net, of course. So make sure, guys, to check the schedule page from time to time here. And we're going to be posting also the new WooFi forecast for April very soon. So just, bookmark the schedule page here so you don't miss a beat. So Janine, social unrest, finances, energy lockdowns, keeping people in check, and maybe or aliens, or all of the above. What do you see?
I'm going with all of the above. And then throw one more in there.
Yeah.
Lone psyops. So there's also like psyops they got planned. So I feel like April's going to be an absolute shit show. Excuse my language. Or don't excuse my language. Wow. Yeah, it's going to be nuts. Okay. No wonder everyone's like, you're traveling in April, Janine. I'm supposed to be going to.
You're going to a wedding, right?
Korea.
Yeah, for a wedding.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be. Yeah.
Just so you know, folks, Janine is not crazy either. If things continue to escalate and her cards tell her not to go,
I won't.
She's going to change her plans. But
I always buy tickets that you can cancel at the last minute. Money.
Yeah. I've been doing that for years now. The world is so uncertain and changes on the dime. It's absolutely crazy.
Yep.
Wow. So all of the above and more.
Yeah, and other things, that they've, we don't get to know just yet. Some surprises on top of that.
Wow.
So it's like,
All right.
Yeah.
Somebody says, I like it when JC and Janine decode the news for me, so I don't need you. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that comment. We do our best. Guys, let us know if you like the show. Just type in yes in the live chat or hit that thumbs up button on the show, whether you're watching on Rumble or YouTube. Really appreciate those comments, guys. Let's give away some cool prizes. Janine, let's start with the Courage Pyramid. It appears we're going to need a lot of courage here moving into the month of April. Do you have a question, Janine?
I do.
All right.
What was my extra card in this new deck I just brought back from Vancouver? What was the card I had two of?
Okay, very good. You guys were paying attention for that. In the meantime, yes. So a couple of things. People are asking in the live chat also. Janine, your Zodiac spread coming up in a couple of days also here on tarotbyjanine.com.
Yeah, likely Sunday, but yeah, I won't
Sunday-ish.
say for sure, but like that's looking good right now.
Okay, very cool. And we just posted also, I think, Coco, the summer vacation schedule. She asked Janine about it. I think it's July 6th. So second and third week of July, I think, is what you and Coco decided. So that means, guys, that most of the team there will be off for the summer, and we won't be producing shows for those 2 weeks. There might still be some sporadic news shows. You know, if things are absolutely crazy, Janine and I will pop on for you guys. But that's our typical summer break. It's just 1 week later than usual, I think, between some of the product launches and Janine's travel, we just decided to take the second and the third week of July as opposed to the first and second. So again, these are all things you guys can find out on the schedule page. I had somebody ask me the other day, hey, JC, where are your shows? I'm like, it's on the schedule page. There's 20, 25 shows every week. So just go check the schedule page on beyondmystic.net. Okay, let me go back to the live chat, Janine. We're going to pick a winner here. Just let me know when to stop the feed. A lot of people got the answer right there.
Stop.
There you go. Worsley now. There you go. Congratulations. Temperance. Yes. 2 temperance cards. Sorry, you can't see the chat. There you go. 2 temperance cards in the live deck. Yes, absolutely. So congratulations. You're the winner of the beautiful pyramid. Go to beyondmystic.net. If you want to check out the schedule while you're there, but also at the top of the page, just fill out the tech support form here under the About section. Let us know you're the winner of the pyramid. We'll have Carla send that out to you in short order. And of course, if you're looking at getting some of these amazing Aries season bundles of pyramids and shungite pendants, 50% off, also there at ascensionorganite.com. So check it out. And a big thank you to Carla for all these amazing prizes and giveaways to the audience members. Now, this one is next. We're going to give up a trio of soaps here from Aline at floranianfarm.ca. If you haven't checked out the Fire Horse essential oils bundle as well, a really, really cool package. Actually, I have one here. Sarah, yeah, I have one here. Actually, Janine, do you have a question for this one? While we get that rolling, I'll try to get the package and show you what it looks like.
Oh, I know. What
Right?
was the card that I said my friend had 2 of? And she became pregnant she found out she was pregnant that month, but she opened that new deck. This is a friend of mine when we were studying tarot together. And the new deck had 2 cards as well. And it seemed to me it was trying to tell her something. So ever since then, when I have 2 cards in a new deck, and it does happen about it, because I buy a lot of decks. Every 4th deck or so, something funny happens, you know. Anyway, what card was that? Okay.
While we wait for that to populate, let me show you Aline's beautiful creation. She was nice enough to send us, look at this cool box. So that's there. And this is the Fire Horse trio of essential oils. So you can see the 3 vials right here at the bottom. I just don't want them to fall on the computer. And there's also that lovely soap that you love.
Yeah.
One of your favorite, the charcoal soap.
Beautiful.
Look at the fire packaging also at the bottom there. Absolutely, it's just so creative. Really cool product, guys. It smells absolutely amazing. So check it out. Those are available also on floranianfarm.ca. Beyond BM10 is the coupon code there to get 10% off. Okay, so let's go to the Rumble feed, Janine, and let me know when to stop.
Stop.
All right, cursor, there you go. Future Cube 62. Congratulations. Trio of soaps from floranianfarm.ca. Nice. And if you guys are looking for that as well, there you go. floranianfarm.ca, coupon code BM10, 10% off. Beautiful website, by the way, too. And it's just everything she does is absolutely gorgeous. So go peruse that stuff. And she also has this new loyalty program. So if you've bought soaps before, you buy more, you get more savings. And if you introduce the soaps to other people also, and they use your code, you get even more savings. You can buy more soaps. Really, really cool. People are loving that loyalty program there. So check it out. floranianfarm.ca. Okay, Janine, one last poll. Going into next week, we have the Courage Pyramid to keep us going, but let's see if there's more advice here we can give to the audience on how to navigate what's coming up here next week. Because When's April? Are we hitting April next week? Yeah, Wednesday, April 1st is next week. What kind of energies? What's the code for TBJ for silver bars? TBJ. There is a code for TBJ silver bars, and there's a code for IAP members, but I can't tell the code here on live because that would give the code to everybody else, and you guys have an exclusive deeper discount. So I would recommend, if you're a member of the Tarot by Janine community or you're an Insider Access Pass member, if you log into your library, you'll see the code on the top right. You have a specific discount there for silver bars. And there is one also for Janine on Janine's Tarot by Janine community. And if for some reason you don't find it in Janine's Tarot by Janine community, you can ask a question in the community. Janine will find it and answer it for you. And or Sarah also can answer your tech support question by verifying that you're indeed a member, having access to that deeper discount. But great question, Mo. Thank you for that. And just also of note, Andy just changed the coupon code for the general public here for the junk silver. It's now $2.15 under spot. Absolutely crazy deal. He's never seen this in 40 years of his life. Lots of reason why technically this is happening right now. But as you're seeing premiums, $18, $20 on silver eagles, this is $2.15 under spot. Absolutely crazy deal, guys. Check it out at beyondmystic.net. Just click on the button there. It'll bring you to the silver form, and just let Andy know what you're looking for, and he'll get that to you in short order while supplies last at these crazy prices, guys. Go check it out. Okay, Janine, what do you have in store for us for next week?
Well, this is interesting. This is us. So we've got We're the Tower. So when it's a personal card, it's not so disruptive. It's more internally a revelation. So I feel like we go into next week with some kind of shocking revelation. So this weekend could be interesting. There could be a big reveal between now and early next week, say. Some big thing could happen in the community, but that seems to happen every hour. So yeah. So we go into the week kind of even more, revelations are occurring to us than usual. And then here we've got the Hanged Man. So that's deeply waiting and thinking. I think that decision we have to make about crypto and or what not to do or do, even if it's just energetically saying no to something or saying yes to something, we really need to take our time and think about it. Feels like we're right in that moment now. So even in the next week, we might be shown some things that we have to all energetically go, nope, put the brakes on if it's really obvious. And of course, JEAN-CLAUDE and I will be discussing it if we're seeing it in the news too. So if we just all touch base with each other and keep track of what's going on in the shows and everything, you won't miss it if there's a big decision to make energetically. And I feel like it'll happen more internally and energetically, where you just go, no, not doing that. Like that with the meningitis thing. I literally heard all the stuff and then went, this is so not, I'm not even participating. I'm not even sharing stuff about it hardly because it's just a joke. And then it disappeared. Poof, like that. And if everybody did that to something that was obviously a no, I feel like it'll help it disappear. We're going to disappear things, right? So we might be really make a real obvious big decision. We're in a safe place to do that though. This card says you're safe to do that. We're not going to get pushed into anything. We're going to know we've had the heads up. And here we move in a direction. So towards the end of the week, we're moving into with more clarity. I feel like we'll have a lot to discuss around everything that we see coming. Could have already happened. And like what we were just talking about tonight, I feel like we'll have a lot of introspection and looking back and discussing. Was that the moment? Was that the moment? Lots of big discussions to have towards the end of the end of the week. We got a lot more clarity by then. And we've got this Two of Swords here. So there's definitely a decision on a no in the coming week, I'm thinking. A no. And it's political no. We say no to it by just not participating. Okay, that's how you do it. You don't even have to just say, no, that's not for me, and shut it down. Don't even sit around worrying about it, or that's the way we're going to say no to the thing, whatever that is. Oh, again here.
Hey, thank you for that, Janine. Sorry, I was muting because I was coughing again. Somebody was saying take a nicotine patch so you don't get sick. I don't want a nicotine patch. I don't trust that stuff. But I'm not sure where that comes from on whether or not you get a cold with a nicotine patch. But no, that's not for me. Thank you very much. Kristen says, such insightful questions and readings. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I realize sometimes my questions are long, but I'm trying to make sense of weird things and all these things at the same time on the live show. Hopefully it made sense to you guys tonight. SL Peterson says, thank God for Jenny and JC who keep us enlightened as to what is really going on. Well, thank you. We try really hard. Janine, are you still pointing at the cards? You had something more that you wanted to say? No? Okay.
No, I was just moving them around. I'm a little bit funny about how they look.
Okay. You're not too OCD. That's good.
That's the one place I am a bit OCD, actually.
OCD about your cards.
Yeah.
Well, it's energetic, right? So your fingers touching. It's kind of like the remote viewers when they touch that ideogram or that little target sign when they're remote viewing. There's something tactile about touching the cards or touching the remote viewing paper for them to make that connection. And so I could tell you're channeling when you're doing that too. So I don't think it's OCD. You're just really connecting to the information. Yeah. All right, guys, one last time also for the coupon codes on the Academy. So all courses in the workshop available now at 50% off. Use the code SPRING50 there where you want to learn tarot, astrology, neurology, feng shui. Everything's there, man. Check it out, 50% off. Or maybe as a gift idea for some of your friends and families. Now's the time at that steep discount. Same thing also, people are asking, can I use the coupon code if I want to renew my Insider Access Pass? Yes, absolutely. It'll do so automatically. If you add that to cart, add the coupon code, it'll add an extra 12 months to the current term of your Insider Access Pass membership. It does that automatically. So yes, you can renew. And of course, if you're new to this, you love these Beyond the News shows and you use the pay-per-view from time to time, check out the IAP Pass. There's a lot there, including special discount codes as well. And of course, the ability to watch us live and ask questions while we're recording the pay-per-view shows. And speaking of Waking Up with Sharon, amazing communities there. Every week, she's hitting it out of the park. A lot of people are already sharing some of their success stories going through this conscious healing process that she's teaching here through the membership. So if you're having some ailment issues and you want to have some help and a community of support there, Waking Up with Shannon, this membership is really what you're looking for. Check that out also here on the Academy page, and check out her Tuesday show. Also absolutely amazing content there as well. For this weekend coming up, guys, we have, I think, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Beyond Akashic with Alexandra is coming up tomorrow. And we have a new show that's coming up on Beyond Mystic very soon, also cross-pollinating all of these amazing people on Beyond Mystic. You're absolutely going to love the new format, so check the schedule page for that. And of course, Astrid is back for the monthly forecast here. This is her monthly show. This is going to be on March 29 here on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So if you want to have an insight on what April is going to look like, astrologically speaking, don't miss the show there. All right. I'm talking about Beyond Mystic. I love you guys. Have a great evening and have a great weekend. And we'll see you again soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.